everyone, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Sinisha, and this is PeepSo Feature Highlights. For this episode, I want to take the pause from our scheduled Gecko Customizer video and introduce you to the file uploads. File uploads is the newest addition to the portfolio of our Ultimate Bundle plugins, and you can only have it if you have Ultimate Bundle license. All right, so let me show you how to set this plugin up, how to configure its configuration, and how to use it on the front end. As it is the case with all plugins that come with PeepSo installer, installing the file uploads is the simple process as going into PeepSo, then installer. Now you'll have to wait for your license to be checked and simply find the file uploads, install this plugin, and enable it once it's installed. All right, activate the plugin, and now one plugin is activated, and I can now go to the configuration. And I will see the File Uploads tab over here. Now, this File Uploads tab is where the bulk of your configuration is. Depending on what other plugins you use, we will sneak in some other configurations into other places where it makes sense. For example, in groups, you will get the option to choose who, by group owners, group managers, or group moderators, who can edit the group files once they are uploaded into the group. Likewise, in Email Digest, you have a new option to use files in your Email Digest. So attach the files that were in the post. And in the user limits, if you use this plugin, there will be a completely new option all the way down to choose who can upload files on your website, similarly to every other user limits configuration. So depending on what plugins you use, there will be additional configuration on other places, not just in file uploads. But for now, let's see what do we have here in file uploads configuration. Let's start with the left-hand side. Obviously, enabled or disabled will simply enable or disable file uploads on the entire website. And the next option that we are more interested in is accepted file types. When you first time install file uploads, this list will probably be different. I already played around with the settings in the background for preparation for this video. So this is where you decide what file types are going to be allowed in the postbox for the upload, as well as in comments and in chat, which I'm going to show later. So let's say I only want to enable archive files. So this one, zip and 7z. So these are the file types that will be allowed on my website, and maximum upload size in megabytes will be, let's say, 50 megabytes. Okay, so now I have configured my file uploads to accept only these three types of files, and maximum upload size in megabytes will be 50 megabytes. So let's save those settings one more time and see what's changed on the community page. If I go into Postbox to post something, I will be able to change the post type to files, and immediately you will see that max file size here is 50 megabytes and allowed file types are those that we allowed in the configuration. So if you want to allow more files, just go here and add whatever file type you want to allow and save the configuration. Now let's refresh the page for the new configuration to take effect. Do the same thing, go to Files, and immediately you'll see that these are now allowed file types as well. Okay? And when you click here to start uploading files, you will see that only allowed file types are displayed in the list. Trust me, I do have more files here, like images and stuff like that, but they are not shown in the selector because they are not allowed file types. And this will work on Windows, on Mac, on your phones, everywhere. So only allowed file types will be listed, and users will never be even able to try and upload the file types that are not allowed. Now allow me to quickly come back to the backend configuration and discuss the maximum upload size in megabytes. As you can see in the fine print over here, WordPress maximum upload size allowed is 2 gigabytes basically, 2048 megabytes, that's 2 gigabytes. And that is how I have it set up for this particular server. And if I try to set this setting to, let's say, 9 something megabytes, which is way bigger than 2048, and save the settings. Now let's refresh the page. Try file uploads. You will see that max file size is reverted to 2 gigabytes because that is the size that is maximally allowed on the server. You cannot go against that. If you want to increase this, you need to check your PHP ANI settings and change the settings there, or ask your hosting provider to do it for you. But I will leave that as it is right now. Actually, no, I'm gonna reduce it to, let's say, back to 15 megabytes because I need to show you something else. So these are the file types allowed, and the maximum upload size in megabytes is now 15. So let's refresh the page just to confirm. Yes, that is exactly how I want it. All right, now that our maximum file size is set, let's try to upload the file that is bigger than maximum upload file size. All right, and I have this template header PSD, which is 114 megabytes big. Okay, I'm gonna choose that and set open, and you will immediately see that this file will not be uploaded. It's there in the post box, but it will not be uploaded. If I say something about these files, I don't have an option to post anything because there's basically no files here. Okay, so let's upload something else which is lower than 15 megabytes, and it's uploaded, as you can see, and I can say something or maybe just post it as a simple file, and the activity stream will be smart enough to reject the file that didn't fit into those 15 megabytes and only posted the file that does. Following the same logic, I can upload multiple files if I want. So let's once again change the post type to files. Click on upload files, and now I'm going to select all of these files, including those that are over 15 megabytes. Open it, and once again, you will see all of those files that fit into 15 megabytes will be processed, while those that are bigger will not. And if I post them, only these 4 files, let's remove that because we already have it here. All of these files, all of these 3 files will be uploaded, and the template header PSD will not. Okay, so I'm uploaded 3 files, although there were 4, but one didn't fit into the limit that we set here in the configuration. Okay, I hope that made sense. Now let's move to the right-hand side where we have the user limits specifications that are applied only to your users. These settings over here are not applied to administrator, and you cannot really test them with the administrator user. In order for us to properly test these features over here or settings, we need to use a regular user, and I'm going to do just that. So let's say I want to allow only 100 megabytes of space per user on my website, and I am also going to increase this to 300 megabytes so I can show you all of these settings, right? Allowed space per user in megabytes, let's increase that to 200. Maximum number of files per user. This simply means if user uploads this amount of files, he will not be able to upload files anymore, right? He will have to delete some of the files, but if he wants to upload more than 100 files, then you either have to increase this limit as an admin or set 0 for unlimited, and this setting will not be applied to anyone. Everyone will be able to upload as many files as they want, as long as they have enough allowed space per user in megabytes. And as you can see here, you can also set 0 for unlimited. So none of these options will be, none of these restrictions actually will be applied. But I want to show some of them. So I'm going to change the daily files upload limit to 5. Okay, so what does this mean is that all of your users except admins on the website will be able to upload 5 files each day, no more than that. So once the 5 files limit is reached, they will have to wait 24 hours before uploading another 5. Let's save those settings and go back to the community, but this time we need to switch the user. All right, now that I switched the user, let's see how those limits that we set in the configuration will apply. So remember, this user can upload only 5 videos, and the allowed space on the server is 200 megabytes. So let's try to exploit that. Max file size is 300 megabytes. And I have here this huge file, which is just a little bit over 313 megabytes. It does not even allow me to, oh yes, only files up to, it took a while because it's a big file, but it only files up to 300 megabytes are allowed. So let's go a little bit lower. So huge file. And I'm going to add these as well. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, actually 4. So we have one more. Now I posted 4 files with this user. And if I try to post more, like let's try to post, let's do one more time here. And this one, that's 6 files. And you will see that one file will be rejected. Maximum file upload quota reached. And this is those 200 megabytes. So if you upload this file, it will simply mean that file upload quota is reached and you need to delete some of the files. Now let's try to upload 2 files that are actually fit into the quota. But remember, we already uploaded 4 files. We only have place for one more. Okay. And one more is rejected because maximum daily file upload quota has been reached. All right, let me quickly switch back to admin and I'm gonna continue from there. Okay, I'm back as an admin, so all of these options over here on the right hand side will be applied to the users. And of course, at any time you can set everything to 0 so it won't be applied. There will be no restrictions whatsoever. Okay, let's save these settings and now we can go to user limits. But before we set any of these options over here, I want to show how you can comment or even send the messages with files. All right, so I reverted back to admin to not be restricted by the limitations we set in the configuration. And I can simply click on this icon over here in the comment, choose the template, choose the file that I want to upload and say, hello, here are the files you requested. And I'm gonna upload all of these files over here. If I want to delete or edit the comment, I can upload a different file. But I can only do it once at a time. So in the comments, you can only choose to upload one file if you wish. In the post, you can upload more, but in the comments and the chat as well, you can only do it once. So here is the file you wanted, and I can upload more if I want. And if I try to upload bigger file than 300 megabytes, look what will happen. There's an error, only files up to 300 megabytes allowed. So in the chat, and I believe comments as well, instead of showing the error within the file itself, in the chat it is going to show as a pop-up window. I believe the same thing applies for comments, but I could be wrong. No, same thing. So pop-ups will be showing in comments and chat, and messages directly in the files, uploaded files, will be shown in there when you try to upload the huge file. Also, we have talked about files with very long name. Okay, so before I touch any of that, I need to enable one more file type, and that is the PDF. Save the settings. Now I can go back to the front end. And try to upload the file with a very, very long name. So this file have a very long name, okay? And you will see how that works in the post itself. You will see how it's gonna be trimmed in the comment. All right, and finally, I'm gonna show you how it's gonna work in the chat message. All right, and let's check all chat messages. I disabled all the sidebars in the chat messages so you can so you can see the full chat, and this is how file is gonna look, the file with a very long name on purpose. Now, editing the file names is the request that we get often, and we are looking into the ways to allow you to edit file names. All right, I believe for the start, this will only be possible for the files that you upload on the stream, not in chat and comments, because when you go to your profile, you will see all of your files that are uploaded that you have uploaded in your time on the website. And we will probably add the option here to edit the file name. All right, but this will only be applied to the files that you upload into the stream, not in comments or the chat. But I'm running ahead of myself. This feature is still in planning phase, so it might take us some more time to complete it. In any case, this is now the profile listing of all the files this profile ever uploaded to their profile, or that also includes the community stream. However, if you upload files to groups, and allow me to quickly change the settings so I can upload some different files like JPEG or PNG, just to be different, to spice it up a little bit. So in this group, I'm going to upload some files from this folder, let's say random images. Let's say just these 3 files, and post it here. It will be posted as files, although those are all of the images, right? And if I go to my profile, remember these are all JPEG files, okay? If I go to my profile and go to files, now you'll see that those files will not be listed here because those files are uploaded in the group, not on my profile. And the group is actually the owner of those files right now. So coming back to configuration in groups, you remember these, I mentioned them on the start of the video. Here you decide who can moderate the group files, either by the owner of the files themselves or group moderators, administrators, owner, or admin only. But in this particular case, when you upload when you upload files in the groups, these files will belong to the group, not that profile who uploaded them. Of course, they can still delete the files they uploaded, but they are not the owner of the file itself. And naturally, the files will inherit all the privacy from the group. So if this group was maybe hidden or secret, then those that are not members of this group will never see those files. All right, so all the privacy is inherited. And now finally, let's come back to the user limits, which is the option that I'm going to discuss right before I show you the widgets, because I don't really have the structure here. I want to show everything, and it's there's a lot of it. So let's do the widgets first before I go and conclude it with the user limits. Now we prepared 2 different widgets, and I'm going to show them in the right sidebar. So first of them will be, let's simply search for files. And you will see that we have PeepSo community files and PeepSo files. This one will simply show your files and your recent files that you have uploaded. But I'm more interested in PeepSo community files. And here I am going to show all the latest files from the community, limit them to, let's say, 10. I'm not going to hide it when it's empty. And the default, I'm going to use the default style for the widget. The only difference is I am going to publish this widget all the way to the top of the sidebar. And why not? Let's change the gradient, the style to gradient. And now when I refresh the page, latest files from the community will be displayed right over here. And finally, let's go back to the community, and finally I can thought about the feature that I wanted to talk about most. Let's change this limit to just 5 files because that's a little over the top. Okay, now it looks much better. So it shows the latest files from the community. But now let's talk about integration or features in the user limits. All right. So if you're aware of our episode where we discussed the PMP and its usage with user limits, how we actually created the user roles on the website which are able to do certain things. For example, you can create a user role which can only upload photos but cannot upload videos, and you can even charge them money for that. You can do the very same thing with files. Basically, what you'll need is to create a role in the WordPress and then disable those roles from uploading the photos. For example, uploading files, sorry. For example, I want this web designer role to be able to upload files on my website. So I am going to disable all of this, actually enable to disable, because selected users will not be able to upload files in their posts. So everyone with the role of editor, author, contributor, subscriber, they cannot post files anymore. As you can see, administrator can be limited, but web designer, if they are in the web designer role, they will be able to upload files. And you can put them in that role automatically if you find the links in the description below, where I'm going to leave the link to the PMP video where we explain how to set all of this up. And here is the point where I would like to end this video, because that is everything I have prepared for you today. If you are going to use this plugin, you need to have the Ultimate Bundle first. But if you're going to use it, let me know how are you going to use it, what features do you like, what features you don't like. And once again, we are very open for your suggestions. Please pour them in, because this is a new plugin, just fresh out of the oven, and it has so much potential for the improvements. And we would like to hear from you. What do you want to see in the next future releases? For example, we already prepared and planning the option to rename the files. There will be some updates on the groups widgets, which will come in package that will include the latest files from groups if you're using the files plugin, and so on. But all of that is still in the development and the preparation process, and I'm not supposed to talk about that, but here you have the first exclusive. And that is all for this video. From the next, we are going to continue with the Getter Customizer, where we left off to create this video. But for now, I wish to thank you all for watching. Give us a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to follow us on social media. Until the next video, bye.